Hello, my name is Levi Sussman. I'm a custom knife maker and pretty passionate about it. One of the blades that I specialize in is making Sharpening knives, or Chalef. I'm also an expert in sharpening, maintaining, repairing, and refurbishing these blades. A number of years ago, I set out to make a Chalef that is everything the Alter Rebbe says a Chalef should be, and nothing that it isn't. This deceptively simple knife, which is really a perfectly square blade with a stick handle on it, is actually quite a challenge to make properly. It has what's called a distal taper, or basically a perfectly even grind that goes from the spine all the way to the edge. Now, across my journey of learning to make these and producing a Chalef that people like, I've spoken with many shoftim from all over the world. And one of the things I encounter is that there's a number of misconceptions about sharpening. How to sharpen, the best ways, the proper angle, the best stones. Very often I have people asking me if this certain type of stone or this kind of stone is somehow going to make them better at sharpening knives. There is no magic stone or magic steel that's going to eliminate learning an art and a discipline of sharpening. It comes down to a few very fundamental things that can be achieved with some relatively inexpensive or affordable stones that are easily accessible to everybody, and a few basic steps. Essentially, sharpening a knife is removing metal in a controlled fashion to expose a very fine edge. By using progressively finer and finer stones, the edge is refined until you have a perfectly sharp Chalef that is halachically acceptable. Over the years, there has been developed a sort of universal standard, at least amongst the shoftim from the European or Russian regions of the world. It's followed up until this day and still proves to be very effective and relatively simple once the time is taken to learn how to do this. One of these stones, very basic, fundamental stone, it's called a carborundum stone. These days, they can be a little more difficult to find. Their common replacement is the aluminum oxide stones. But if you do look for them, they'll be referred to as silicon carbide. They're relatively inexpensive, and in days of old, most of the work done on a Chalef by a shochet was done with one of these. It's a fairly coarse stone, they're fairly aggressive, but they can be used to do most of the shaping needed to achieve the desired edge. Now that we live in a time where international products are available to us, some of the Japanese stones have sort of replaced or become the standard. I found that the stones, by the way, I'm not endorsing or promoting any one specific product, but I found that these are easily accessible to everybody, fairly economical, and they work well. These stones are made by Naniwa, and for about $120 a set of stones from very coarse to very fine can be had. I love them. I go through probably three sets or so at easy here. This is a 220 grit. I do almost all of the work on a blade with one of these. After that, I go to the 1000 grit, which I do some of the basically refining the edge. And then from there I go to 6000. That basically finishes it. Now, some of the traditional standbys, and they are nice to keep in your pocket for working with, are the Belgian cauticles, and these are available again. What's really nice about these is these do the work of many stones. By adjusting or controlling the pressure and the amount of water used, you can do everything from basically what a 1000 grit would do, all the way to about a 16 or 20,000 grit finish. Then here's the legendary greenstone. I have a little tiny sliver of one. They're beautiful to have, but these are not the things that are going to make you better at doing this work. This is called an Arkansas translucent stone. This is for final polishing, finishing. These really are not removing metal anymore. These are primarily just burnishing an already finished proper edge. And they're very nice. Once the time has been taken to establish an edge, I'm not going to talk to you at all about angles. I'm not going to talk to you about gauges or guides. The truth is, I don't think they really have any place in the discussion. Do I sharpen at a 12 degree or a 6 degree or an 18 degree? I couldn't tell you, I have no idea. So, hopefully that tells you a little bit about... Oh, one more thing here I like to work with. This is a dressing stone or a slurry stone. They're like $8 or $10 or $12. These are really nice for getting a paste on your finer grit Japanese stones for when you're doing your polishing. Once you get past your, say, 4,000 or 6,000 grit, they can be really nice, but again, not necessary. So, hopefully, you'll stay tuned, and over the course of the next month, I'm going to be doing a series of videos that show a very detailed, basically class on how to do this. Hope to see you all back, and thank you.